Hi, I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
And this is the Season 3 premiere of the Iron Bowl Hour.
Or as we like to call it, the show that wishes Brett Bielema would just hurry up and accept the no-huddle offense.
Did you get a haircut?
I got them all cut.
On tonight's show.
For the last couple of years, Alabama has backed their way into accidentally winning a national championship, and it's not going to happen 3 years in a row, so that's a no.
I caught one and dropped one. That should have been another touchdown.
You didn't have to say that part.
No, I shouldn't have. Let me take that back.
There you go.
Reed, it's time for yet another season of Agree to Disagree. Still no Emmy. Maybe we should spice it up this season. Maybe have a lot more crying involved. I don't know.
If we do, I bet Emmylou Harris will start watching the show, and that's at least one Emmy. With Manziel in hot water and everybody making money off of players' likenesses except for the players, is it time for a change of policy? Should players be able to make money off their likeness and/or signature?
Reed, of course they should be able to get paid for their autographs. Johnny Manziel, he's the reason that he's famous.
You mean once they become professionals?
No, right now, Reed. He's the one that's been doing all the amazing stuff to make himself so famous. He's the one going to all the parties and going to all the basketball games and hanging out with rappers. I mean, he's earned the right to make money off of his fame.
Well, yeah, but Will, you're ignoring the obvious thing here, which is if you allow players who are still actively playing at the college level to make money really off of doing anything at all, especially large amounts of money, then now all schools have to do is just guarantee them that some crazy booster is going to buy, $7 million worth of signatures from you. So you can't do it. You're totally wrong about this. I mean, that was easy. That was easy.
Reed, in general, the whole thing needs to be revamped. These players have to get paid something, right? But then the NCAA is making money off of them, clearly, and especially the video games coming out, Reed.
Sure.
Even though it doesn't say the names on the back of those jerseys, you know who that is playing in the game.
Yeah, but listen, this whole situation with Scam Manziel, which is what I'm calling him nowadays, he's getting something already. He's getting plenty, and he doesn't need to get five-figure deals for signing things. Think about all that exposure that he is currently getting. It's going to set him up for a sweet contract once he enters the NFL. He's getting plenty. Listen, even guys who are just getting a scholarship, there are plenty of studies that show that a college scholarship, right, a full ride to college is worth a ton. Well, there are that show that it's worth a ton of money, and you don't need to be making money off signatures. And it's a Pandora's or box or worm box. It's one of those box deals where if you start doing that, it's going to mess up everything, and basically colleges are going to be able to pay players to come to their school, and you cannot have that.
Reed, there's nothing awesome about college scholarships. Okay, getting money for your signature, that's really cool and awesome. Johnny Manziel, by the way, he's this tall.
Well,
NFL is not in his future. He had one fluke season.
Listen,
let's let him make his money now.
If Tim Tebow can sit on the bench for like 4 or 5 years in the NFL, then so can Scam Manziel. And that's what's going to happen. And I am right about this, and you lose. On to the next topic.
Alabama's rolling off yet another championship season and are set to hit the field this season with a great chance to do it all again. Will they three-peat?
No, they will not, Will, and it's not going to happen this year. Now, listen, they'll probably win a national championship next year and maybe 2 years after that, although they start to have to actually earn them with playoffs, so I don't know about that. But they're definitely not going to win this year.
Reed, it's set up. If there's ever been a year they're going to win it, it's this year. The three-peat is happening. They have 2 ranked teams on their schedule, both teams that could fall out of the top 25. Say Scam Manziel does not play, right? Out of the top 25 almost immediately.
Oh, yeah. No, Alabama's definitely going to beat Texas A&M this year, no doubt. Yeah.
Okay, LSU, Mettenberger, there are rumors he's not even practicing.
Yeah, that's a win for Alabama for sure. Yeah.
Then who are they going to lose to?
Now, look, remember a couple years ago when they won the national championship, they almost lost to Tennessee, who was a terrible football team. You never know what's going to happen there. Not Tennessee specifically, but I'm just saying you never know. A team's going to sneak up. They have to win an SEC championship. That could be against Jadeveon Clowney, right? And you never know who they're going to meet there. Probably a pretty good team out of the East this year. And then they got to play somebody for the title game. For the last couple of years, Alabama has backed their way into accidentally winning a national championship, and it's not going to happen 3 years in a row. So that's a no.
Reed, again, if they've ever been set up, this is the year. The schedule is easy, easy, easy.
Which is almost more the reason why they're not going to do it. It's too easy. The players are going to be complacent. They don't win the national championship this year. It's not. Maybe it's going to be. I don't know who it's going to be. Ohio State or somebody.
Have you seen AJ McCarron's new tattoos, Reed?
Ooh,
Championship
I didn't think about
worthy.
That's a good point. As documented on Facebook, Alabama has won 2 national championships since Auburn last won an SEC game. How will things go for Auburn this season? Is the Gus bus headed in the right direction?
Reed, as we know, there's only one reason, well, kind of one reason, that Auburn won the national championship in 2010. It's Gus Malzahn and the fact that he brought in a JUCO quarterback that had been in some trouble before.
Well, yeah, it was Scam Newton. That's what I'm calling him now, by the way.
We're looking at the exact same situation this year, right? Gus Malzahn is back. Now he has full reign of the team. He can do that wild and crazy offense all he wants with nobody holding him back. And he's brought in a JUCO quarterback, Reed, that's apparently like the best thing in the world.
But not another Cam Newton. There's only one Scam Newton. And Nick Marshall, we're going to call him Snick Marshall. That doesn't even make any sense. No, he's not the same thing, right? So, listen, here's the problem. Don't forget, now Auburn, for the first time ever, has a high school coach as their coach. And that's not going to they've got, players being kicked off the team. They're moving quarterbacks to safeties. This is not the, picture of a team who's going to do well this year. They're going to do poorly. I think they will win an SEC game or 2, but that's probably about it.
I mean, we saw Kyle Frazier last year. The safest place for him this year is at safety. He needs to be nowhere near the quarterback position.
Right, that's true, but that's my point, is that this is not a good football team who's having to move their starting quarterback from last year into a defensive position. And let's not forget SEC games, right? They got to start off the season against the Washington State Pirates, right, with Mike Leach at the helm there, and that's not even going to go well for them. That's going to be a tough game right out of the gate, given the disarray that the program has been in recently. So they're in big trouble.
You make a good point with Mike Leach. I mean, he's very erratic. Definitely could be locking some of the players.
Did you say erratic or
erratic?
Erratic.
Erratic.
Okay, good. Yes.
He's always up to no good for sure. But Reed, this year Auburn actually has some depth in the offensive line and the running back position. With Gus Malzahn in full control, they're set to roll down the rail.
We'll see about that, Will.
We sure will,
we'll
Reed.
See. Yeah.
Coming up next, it's the television premiere of our highly anticipated and talent-filled video about Johnny Manziel.
Scam Manziel. Right.
Reed, recently we spent minutes coming up with a song and then recording it.
Well, in fairness, we spent about 4.5 hours because you kept messing up your part and we had to re-record it. But in the end, we do have a video to show for it.
Harmonies are hard.
Texas A&M became less frightening today. Now that their disgraced QB probably won't be able to play. We all thought that he'd be H-E-double-L for the SEC. But now there's no reason to fear that A-G-G-I-E. Johnny Manziel may run and pass so well, but that don't mean much to me if he doesn't know how to hold on to his eligibility. He got paid to sit and sign his name, or so two unnamed sources say. That's all I need to hear to know that he won't be playing come game day. Texas A&M became less frightening today. Now that their disgraced QB probably won't be able to play. We all thought he'd be H-E-double-L for the SEC. But now there's no reason to fear that A-G-G-I-E. Now there's no reason to fear that A-G-G-I-E.
Reed, in full disclosure, at the time of this taping, we have no idea if Johnny Manziel will be eligible or not. So
what are you talking about? We know he's not going to be eligible. Will, unconfirmed reports have said that he did it. He did it. He is ineligible. Those are the rules.
Reed, do you even know what he's accused of?
I don't care what he's accused of, Will. The unconfirmed reports have said he did it. He did it. He cannot play.
I'm now accusing us of, after the break, going to the top of Vulcan with former Alabama lineman, assistant coach, and sideline reporter Jerry Duncan. Reed, it's time for rapid fire questions on the grill with the namesake of the Jerry Duncan I Love to Practice Award.
Who is that?
Jerry Duncan.
Oh, right, of course. Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, here we go. As an Alabama fan, who are you more excited about as head coach, Nick Saban or Gus Malzahn?
I'd have to say Nick Saban.
Okay.
Smart move. What does Auburn have to do in order to beat Alabama this year? That's actually the right answer.
That is the right answer.
That's the right answer. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Who's the head coach at Tennessee?
I have no idea.
Isn't that unbelievable?
No one else does either, yeah.
No. I'll give you the first name of a former Alabama coach. You give me his last name. Mike
Dubose.
All right. There were a lot to choose from there.
First number with Dubose. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it awkward to be a sideline reporter during a game where the team is obviously going to lose?
It's very unnerving, I would say that.
Especially for Alabama. Luckily, it doesn't happen very
often.
often.
That didn't happen very often. That's correct.
There you go.
Does practice make perfect?
No.
Did you practice for this interview?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right, yeah. Is it too early for Alabama to go ahead and start celebrating its 20th national championship?
I'd say a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little.
5 years.
Okay. All right.
How many Heisman trophies will TJ Yeldon win this year?
Probably just one.
Maybe. That's a conservative
Very
estimate.
conservative.
That is conservative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Longer shelf life, buttermilk or Johnny Manziel?
Buttermilk.
Yeah. That stuff is sturdy.
Yeah.
Best Alabama coach of all time, Bear Bryant or Nick Saban?
Oh, listen, they're both fabulous coaches.
So co-champions, we'll say.
Yes, I would have to say that.
Okay, this is still
you're not going to get me on that one.
Well, this is still the BCS era, so co-champions are acceptable. Better at running trick plays, Auburn or Bear Bryant?
Well, there's no question about Coach Bryant. He came up with the tackle eligible.
Okay, so
that you made famous.
Well, you said that. I didn't.
I want to make sure we have that on record the next time an Alabama fan complains about Auburn running trick plays. Okay, very good.
Does Big Al have a weight problem?
Probably not. Probably not.
Not definitely.
He's not as big as John Foyne.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Zing.
All right. Hard to beat that answer. Well, it's time to ride on an elevator.
Can't wait.
Sounds good.
Me too. It's hot up here.
It is.
Right?
Well, thanks, Mr. Duncan, for the donut. That was delicious, and you did a great job up top.
Well, it was a Dunkin' Donut.
There you go.
And thank goodness it was a cheat day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So one of the things we want to talk to you about briefly is, of course, you are famous for a lot of things, but you are the namesake of the Jerry Duncan I Love to Practice Award. Did you earn that? Is that true?
Probably not.
So how did that come to be that Coach Bryant decided you were the guy?
Well, I don't really know. Now, Coach Bryant didn't go into a lot of detail about how he established it, but he just called me up one day and said, you know, I appreciate everything you've done, and we're going to name an award after you. And it started, I think, in 1971 or 72, and it's been continued ever since. I'm very humbled by it.
Well, there are worse things to be known as than a hard worker, so that's good.
I guess so.
No one actually loves to practice, right?
I could have been a bank robber.
It could have been a bank robber. So did you actually love to practice?
Well, I don't guess I really love to practice much. Back then, you were always fighting for a job. You were fighting to keep that first team status, and so if you didn't like to practice, you better not let anybody know you didn't like to practice. So
it should have been the I love to pretend that I love to practice.
Maybe that's what it should have been. That would have probably been, a lot of my teammates would probably say that's what it should have been too.
There you go.
Now, a lot of Alabama fans, especially with Gus Malzahn's offense, like to say, hey, Auburn just runs a trick play offense. They just always run in trick plays. But of course, Mr. Duncan, you were known for a trick play, the tackle eligible that Bear Bryant ran. How do you compare the two?
Well, I don't know anything about Coach Malzahn's offense, but the tackle eligible was not. It was a trick play, but other teams that we played against tried to run it against us, and our defense was always ready for it.
You guys were trickier.
So, well, maybe that's what it was, but it was.
They started it.
Well, Coach Bryant started it. At least when I was there is when he started it, because of I was a former halfback in high school.
Sure.
And that just shows that my talent level. They immediately moved me to tackle when I got to Alabama. So,
and not even the kind of tackle who gets to tackle.
No, that's right. That's right. You got to play against all these big old defensive tackles, which wasn't very much fun. But anyway, every once in a while we get to run the tackle eligible, so that made it a little bit more fun.
I bet so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's time now for word association. You know how this works. We're going to say a series of things to you, and you have to give us very brief answers, and you can't think about these. You have to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready for this?
I guess so.
Okay, we're going to limit you to 3 words per answer.
3 words per answer.
Here we go. Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson, great announcer.
2-a-days.
Terrible, terrible.
One more terrible if you want. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were awful.
He didn't seem to love those. War Eagle.
Don't know much about it.
Johnny Manziel.
Great player, fantastic. Needs to work.
Great player. 3.
Great player, fantastic. He's a big fan. All right. Nick Saban.
Great coach.
College football playoff.
We need it.
He's right about that.
Yep.
Hurry up, no huddle.
Yeah, depends on your offense.
I think the face almost said everything there. Kind of.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Les Miles.
You can say grassy to him. That's okay.
I don't know. I don't know the man.
Nobody knows about that guy. 1966.
Great team. Got robbed.
Okay, he threw in a few extra ones there, but we weren't going to rob him of that. Yeah.
The University of Tennessee.
Did not like Tennessee when I was playing.
Plain and simple. All right, you did a pretty good job with that. Now, after the break, we're going to come back, Will, and we have one last thing we need to clear up with you. But so far, so good, Mr. Duncan.
You're nailing it.
Oh, really?
Back after this with more of the Iron Bowl Hour.
Welcome back to the Iron Bowl Hour. We've yet to run off legendary Alabama practicer Jerry Duncan.
Now, the season's about to start. A lot of people calling for Alabama to three-peat. What do you think is going to happen?
It'd be extremely difficult to do.
You've seen their schedule, though, right?
I've seen the schedule, and it will be extremely hard to do. It all depends on if they can not get complacent, if they don't take anything for granted, if they continue to work hard every day to try to get ready for the next opponent, and a lot of things have got to happen.
And you're a man who knows, because you played through a couple of championship seasons there, so.
Well, we had our 64 and 65 teams won the national championship, and then our 66 team, we ran the table, and then we didn't get it. But now, with the way the playoff thing is situated in the Southeastern Conference championship game, you can work it out, just like Alabama lost a game last year and was able to come back, win a conference championship, and go on and play Notre Dame.
Absolutely.
So, it's just a lot of things have to fall into place, but there had to be some upsets in other conferences for them to get to that position.
That's true.
If you win everything, if you win every game, then what else can you do?
That's a good point.
So,
well, there's one last thing we need to clear up with you. We have 2 researchers on staff here at the Iron Bowl Hour. One of them is really good, and one of them is not very good, probably going to be fired soon. But we have some facts that we did, some research we did about you, and we wanted to see if you could help us kind of straighten out which ones are correct and which ones are not.
I'll try my best.
Here we go. It's going to help us in the firing process. Okay. All right, first thing it says here, as an offensive tackle at Alabama, you caught a touchdown pass. Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
That's actually true.
Possible? Okay.
I caught one and dropped one. That should have been another touchdown.
You didn't have to say that part.
No, I shouldn't have. Let me take that back.
There you go.
You are from ancient Sparta, Greece.
That's not correct. I'm from Sparta, North Carolina.
So it's partly correct.
Close.
It's partly correct.
Just not the ancient
That's
and the Greece
just
part.
not. That's definitely was. I definitely was not from Greece.
Okay. All right. I just had an idea, Will. We should call this segment "This Is Your Life?" ?
Okay.
Does that sound good?
This is your life?
Yeah. Probably technically I should have said that at the beginning. All right, how about this? You secretly hated to practice. Is that true?
I don't think I hated to practice.
Just, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be breaking some kids' hearts if they found that out.
That's true.
That's right.
Your nickname is Ham Hock.
Ham Hock, that was one of my nicknames, and that one was given to me by Coach Clem Griska, who actually came to Sparta, North Carolina, and offered me the only scholarship that I was offered.
Huh. Why did he call you Ham Hock?
Because we met at a restaurant up there that was famous for country hams.
Huh.
And from that day on, and actually my dad gave Coach Griska a country ham.
It's funny when you think about country hams, you don't think about restaurants in Sparta, Greece. That's weird.
That's
I really assumed that the researchers threw that in just to get me tongue-tied.
All right, last one. True or false? You once kissed Eli Gold at a Penn State game, prompting him later to write, quote, "You really haven't lived until you've been kissed by Jerry Duncan." That can't be true.
I did kiss Eli Gold.
That's true.
And I kissed John Forney. And neither one of them very good kissers, to be quite honest with you.
We've revealed so much on this show today.
Yeah, certain taste in men, that's for sure.
No doubt about it.
Well, that's all the time we have for this Iron Bowl Hour. For the Iron Bowl Hour, I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
Roll Eagle Reed.
War Tide, Will.
Don't forget to follow us and interact with us via Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at the Iron Bowl Hour. You can also come see our radio show, Oh Brother Radio, every Thursday, live from Iron City from 7 to 9 p.m. on Birmingham Mountain Radio.
Now, Will, let's get out of here. I've got a solitaire game that starts in 30 minutes.
Promotional consideration provided by Express Helicopters at the Birmingham International Airport, specializing in charters, tours, news, and events. And Vulcan Park and Museum, home to the world's largest cast iron statue, spectacular views, and indoor and outdoor exhibits that recount the region's history, as well as the story of the iconic 56-foot-tall statue that has become the beloved symbol of Birmingham. For more information, log on to www.visitvulcan.com.
Is Elizabeth going to be mad if my head is shiny? No. She won't care about mine.
How you look. Okay. Just concerned about whether or not her husband looks shiny and greasy. Huh? I mean, I'm concerned about things that wouldn't be shaved. Oh, I'm gonna have nose hair. I'm not. Yes, I'll get that. That's fine. Give me your thing. It's another hot button issue with my wife.
Up underneath here, Reed. Come on, you get it.